Welcome back to the Iraqi Dinar, where truth meets intel and the real currency moves are tracked before they reach global headlines. Today's update carries weight. If you've been holding Iraqi Dinar or Vietnamese Dong, whether for years or just recently, this may be the moment many have been waiting for. We're not talking about rumor or forum speculation. We're talking about a verifiable shift in the global currency landscape that is playing out in real time. The foreign exchange market is experiencing a momentum we haven't seen in recent history. This isn't about slow, speculative growth. This is something deeper, something structural. Real numbers, real movement. Right now, the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong are no longer sitting on the sidelines. They're making headlines across institutional trading desks and global market platforms. These currencies, once labeled stagnant or artificially constrained, are now climbing fast and forcing analysts to completely rethink what's possible. Veteran traders, institutional players, and market observers across the board are noticing the same thing. A massive shift is underway. This may not be just another bounce or temporary uptick. It could be the start of a full revaluation process, one that fundamentally redefines how these currencies are valued, traded, and perceived in the global economy. This morning, reports from major Forex terminals across Asia, Europe, and the US confirmed significant upward movement for both currencies. Movements not seen in decades. The Iraqi dinar, in particular, has pushed past historic benchmarks, reaching valuations not recorded since before the 2003 US invasion. Simultaneously, the Vietnamese Dong has strengthened with surprising speed, catching even seasoned analysts off guard. These are not just small gains. They're not anomalies. These are signs of a deep strategic correction in the market, a recalibration reflecting real economic development and years of strategic groundwork. For both Iraq and Vietnam, this moment didn't appear out of nowhere. It's been years, some might say decades, in the making. Iraq has made meaningful strides in reforming its economy. From rooting out corruption, to embracing digital payment systems, to aligning with international financial standards, Iraq has worked consistently to bring credibility back to its monetary system. Foreign reserves have been built up. The central bank has tightened control over monetary policy. And the black market, which once distorted the real value of the dinar, is being dismantled step by step through regulation, enforcement, and transparency. Vietnam's path, while different, has been no less deliberate. The country has transformed itself into a key global manufacturing hub. Foreign direct investment is pouring in from tech giants like Samsung, Apple, and Intel. Trade partnerships with the US, Japan, and the European Union have helped anchor Vietnam's economy firmly in the center of global supply chains. This strategic evolution has now translated into stronger financial fundamentals, and the market is recognizing that in real time. It's important to understand that what we're witnessing is not driven by emotion, hype, or short-term speculation. This is driven by macroeconomic shifts, by institutional capital, and by global confidence in both countries' long-term trajectories. The sudden strength of these currencies is a reflection of trust finally being restored. Some platforms are now reporting IQD trading over $3 per US dollar and VND reaching $2 per 10,000 units. These were once considered fantasy numbers, but now they're showing up on live Forex screens, and that has changed the tone of the entire conversation. This is no longer just a speculative dream. It's a market reality. For those holding these currencies, this moment calls for strategy, not emotion. If you've been patient, if you've held through years of frustration, this may be your reward. But reward always brings responsibility. Now is the time to take stock. Review your holdings. Understand local exchange options. Make sure your documentation is organized. Consult a financial advisor who understands emerging market currencies and doesn't rely on internet speculation. Acting without a plan, reacting to social media posts, or jumping in blindly could cost you significantly. The smarter move is to observe, analyze, and prepare. Forex markets are still volatile. Surges like this may continue or pull back before stabilizing. But what's different this time is the scale of involvement. We are seeing institutional capital flow into these currencies in volumes that are simply unprecedented. This isn't just retail traders buying and selling. Central banks, multinational funds, and global banks are actively rebalancing portfolios and preparing for a new valuation baseline. When institutional money moves like this, it's because due diligence has been done. Confidence, not guesswork, is at play. Forex platforms across major cities, Dubai, London, New York, Singapore, are reporting activity spikes. Some systems are even experiencing outages due to unexpected volume. Currency exchange offices in key metros are seeing waitlists form for the first time in years. All of this points to one conclusion. This is no longer a fringe movement. It's no longer a discussion happening only in niche forums or back-channel groups. This is a mainstream financial shift. And whether this turns out to be the final stage of revaluation or just the beginning of a longer process, the groundwork is already in motion. The market is speaking louder than any official press release. The belief that a revaluation has to start with a formal government announcement is being challenged right now by what's unfolding live in trading platforms. We're witnessing the mechanics of revaluation without waiting for a headline to confirm it. And that's key because it means the market is driving the narrative, not the other way around. Iraq's central bank is expected to speak in the coming days. Discussions about removing zeros from the currency and issuing new notes are intensifying. Vietnam may soon follow with monetary guidance of its own. If these formal steps occur, today's momentum could solidify into lasting, permanent new baselines. Even if they don't, the raw data already tells a compelling story. The revaluation in practical terms has begun. None of this happened quickly or by accident. Iraq had to rebuild trust after years of conflict and sanctions. Vietnam had to completely reinvent itself from a low-cost exporter to a major economic engine tied to the global marketplace. Both countries had to earn back credibility with the IMF, the World Bank, and international investors. That's exactly what they've done. One of the clearest signs of lasting change is the erosion of the black market's influence on currency exchange. For years, unofficial street rates undermined public trust, distorted real value, and weakened monetary policy. But now, legitimate financial systems are outperforming those black markets. In both Iraq and Vietnam, citizens are returning to banks because the official rates are finally catching up to reality, and in some cases, exceeding street value. These reforms aren't just about economics. They represent a shift in national pride, sovereignty, and economic dignity. For the citizens of Iraq and Vietnam, undervalued currencies have long symbolized deeper struggles. This shift is more than technical. It's emotional. It's human. It's a moment of restoration. The world is beginning to recognize the value these currencies represent, not as speculative instruments, but as key players in a rebalanced monetary world. Their legitimacy is being restored not by hype, but by the facts. Strengthened economies, modern financial infrastructure, rising foreign reserves, and unprecedented global attention. So what now? If you're holding IQD or VND, your next steps matter more than ever. This is the time to pay close attention to exchange rates, track official updates from the Central Bank of Iraq and the State Bank of Vietnam, and observe trends on major trading platforms. Organize your documents. Know the rules for exchanging in your country. If you haven't already, speak to a qualified financial advisor, one who understands these specific markets. Don't wait until the window closes. Don't rush either. Plan now before the crowd does. Because when everyone moves at once, the system slows, and the smartest gains will be made by those who are ready before that wave hits. June 2025 could very well go down as a defining moment in modern currency history. The Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong, once dismissed as fringe, have now drawn global attention, institutional capital, and public recognition. We're watching a major financial evolution unfold, not in theory, but in real time. The question isn't whether change is happening. It's whether you're prepared to respond. So stay calm, stay informed, stay strategic. This may be the breakthrough moment you've been waiting for, but how you act next will determine what that moment means for your future. We'll be here tracking every development, every official release, and every market movement to keep you up to date. Until the next shift unfolds, be ready.